All right, good morning, everyone. It is about 10 o'clock. We're going to get started with Dotloop. Share my screen here for you. All right, I want to remind everyone that this is being recorded. Keep your cameras off if you don't want to be saved for posterity. It is October 12th, 2023. If you're watching this in the future, some of the things that may be in this video may be outdated. We will do our very best, as we usually do, to keep the information up to date as we go forward with some changes and modifications to the Dotloop system. All right, I have in here my personal account as an agent, so everyone can see what we're looking at here. Across the top, we have reporting, not something that you guys are going to have to pay attention to too much. This is the loops. This is the loop screens here. We'll get into that a little bit deeper. If you are a task-oriented person and you have tasks saved or associated with your loops, they will all show up here. And these will show the ones that are assigned to you, anything that's overdue, anything that's completed, and all tasks. All right, so they'll be there for you to take a look at. Let's go up here to people. This is your old school Rolodex. So this is where you have your contacts. These are all the people that are in your system, and you'll see different people, different names. Here's an example, Jay Mitchell. I've got an email address, and I got Jay Mitchell with a phone number. I have to be cautious when I'm doing Dotloop that I use the Jay Mitchell with the email address and not the Jay Mitchell with the telephone number, because if I use the Jay Mitchell with the telephone number and not the email address, I'm never going to get any documents to this Jay Mitchell. All right, I'll go into that a little bit deeper. I'll just give you an example, show you right there. Right here are your trusted service providers. So if you click on the mortgage button, these are all the loan officers that you should have access to. If there's anybody missing, just give us a holler and we'll make sure we get them added to the system. Down here are your closers. Again, if there's anybody missing, just let us know and we'll get them added to the system. And I'll show you how we get them invited into the loop as trusted service providers here in just a few minutes as we go through a loop. Up here are your templates. These are the different libraries that you have. These are all accessible to you all through the loop process. You also have tasks here, and you have different task lists. And if you want to create your own task list, I got down here Tim's listing task list. I'll just open that one up, click on task list, and add my next task here. Create the task list. And there is my new task list right here. Now, if I wanted to add a task to Tim's listing task list, I click it here, add, typo, add a new task. Boom. And there you go. And you can come over here. You can assign that to yourself. Down here, find me. And then if I want to put a due date, I could do today, tomorrow, this week, next week, after another task. You can put a specific date once it's in a specific loop, but you can do those and get these preloaded no matter what you're looking at from that perspective. So you can create these task lists for yourself. I'll show you where you can drop those in. All right, up here is your little profile. And I want to show you your account. So we go right here to my account. And I'm going to go slow because if you're trying to autofill, auto-populate, you may want to take a couple of paper notes so you can come back, or you can just come back and watch the video or follow along. But I'll go a little slow if you're going to take paper notes. Come in the upper right-hand corner, go to My Account, right under your name and number, click on My Account. Then you're going to come over here on the left-hand side to Profiles. So from My Account over here to Profiles. And you'll see your agent details right here. And you'll see I've got this label as Tim Vohar, Virginia. If you were a North Carolina person and you had two profiles, you want to put North Carolina next to this. So you make sure you're working in the right loop. Right? I'm going to go back to add Virginia. I didn't spell it right. Apparently I didn't spell my own name right either, but that's what's going to be. All right, this is my office telephone number. If you want to put in your cell phone number, you certainly could. Now, the broker license number should auto-populate for everybody at 0226-036-456. That's the broker number. Should auto-populate. If it doesn't, you're certainly free to add it in here under broker license number. All right, so this is the firm's license number, 0226-036-456. Everybody should be using this number. The office ID, now if you're in Norfolk, this is your number, 138713. Type that in there. I don't have a list, but I know you know your office RAIN IDs. So this would be your office RAIN ID number for anyone for any of the other offices. Down here, broker agent ID. This is for RAIN. So this is our MLS number. This is my RAIN MLS number. If you're not using RAIN, you're using another MLS. This would be your MLS number. So 20697 is mine. And then over here is my agent license number for Virginia. If you're in North Carolina, you got a 5-digit number. If you're in Virginia, you got the, how many is that? 10-digit number. So it starts with 0225. If you're putting a 0226, you're putting the wrong number. It needs to be 0225. This is not your business entity. This is your actual individual agent license number. Coming on down, you should have Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, RW Town Realty, and mine is 312. Yours will be whatever your particular office is. You should also have Virginia Association of Realtors, potentially North Carolina Realtors Association. So those could be there too if you're in North Carolina. All right, company name, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, RW Town Realty. I have gone in here and I've added Norfolk. I recommend you put in your office name after it. So when it auto-populates, it separates, or at least it's identifiable for which office you are. If you're the listing firm and you're selling another property, it gets the admins, helps us keep it straight from a contract perspective. So I always encourage you to put your office name after you have the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services RW Town Realty. And a quick trick for that is if I come up here, drag, copy, boom, I can paste it and then just type it in there. I don't have to type all that in again. All right, then here's my office address. Now, little tip. You will see here, I have no notifications turned on for Tim Bohart. This means I get no emails. I get no little orange alerts on my Dotloop screen. If you are inundated with emails and you want to limit some of the emails you're getting from Dotloop, you're going to come in here, check or uncheck the boxes that you don't want to have email reminders. If you're feeling like you're missing something, come check this. You may have all your boxes unchecked or a specific box unchecked. So you can come in here and change your notifications, which would be the little bell and the little flag over here, or you can change your email notifications. Now, once you're done with this, you're going to click on the Save button. Now, I do want to remind you, I have a bunch of profiles because I'm an admin. You all should have 1 or 2 profiles here. If you're in Virginia, you'll have 1. If you're in North Carolina, you'll have 1. If you're licensed in both, you should have 2. So just make sure you're differentiating between, here's one admin for North Carolina Beach. All right. And I think that's all for that. Okay, so make sure you click on save. I think I hit save there. Just a reminder, if you have your cameras on, you are getting recorded and it will be saved for posterity. No need to have your cameras on for this. It is not a CE class. All right, so now we're going to go back to the loops. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to start a loop. So I'm going to go ahead here. I'm going to click on add. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me go ahead and show you these manage invitations. If somebody is asking you to join a loop or you're doing any type of loop work with someone else, this is where your invitations will be. Manage invitations and click accept. Now, I would make sure that I'm in the right office before I click accept. So if you're Virginia and you're getting a loop from someone who's wanting to collaborate with you in North Carolina, make sure you switch to your North Carolina profile or vice versa. So you need to make sure you switch back and forth before you click on this manage and accept, because you're going to accept it into this profile that you're in right here. I'll show you an example. I'll go out of this and I'll go to Norfolk. And when I go to manage invitations, those same invitations are there. All right.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
Karen has her hand up.
Okay. Karen, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that.
Oh, you're okay. All right. So remember, if you have multiple profiles, make sure you're in the right profile before you do manage your invitations, or you'll be accepting that loop into the wrong profile. All right, now let's go over here. This is the activity log. This shows everything that you've done in your profile. This is the notifications for your profile, and I'll show you a little bit more once we get into a new loop itself. Let's do this here, search for address. So if I'm looking for a property, I can type in 819, and then anywhere 819 shows, that will come up there. I could type in Vohar, and anything that's got Vohar will highlight in there. If I had an MLS number, I don't think this is going to work, but I'll try. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when something like this happens and says there's nothing there and you think there's something, you can click search all loops. Still no results. So there you are. All right, let's go down. And perfect. All right, if I'm trying to do filters, I can come in here and search by filters. I don't think many agents are going to be searching by filters. This is more of an admin function. But if you want to search by filters, you have that there. You have your creation date if you're looking for this, and just ordering them up any way you like to work. And then over here is your button, and this is currently the grid view. I could change it to the list view. Gives you a list like this, or I can have the compact view and give me a little bit more like this. Up to you how you like to have it. I usually just have it set on the grid view here, and then I can count and see how many loops I have to review by going that way. By counting 3 is very good. All right, let's go ahead and click add a loop. All right, so we're going to go in here and we're going to type in an address. And as I start to type in an address, you'll see that Google is trying to auto-populate. So I have 1420 West 41st Street, Norfolk, Virginia. It's listed by Tim Vohar. If I was writing an offer on the property, I could click on this and then integrate with Tim Vohar and his loop. That will create one loop for him, and it will keep you one loop, or keep one loop for that as a listing instead of creating another loop for that agent. So that's one of the tips is if you're doing Dotloop, try and click on the one that's listed by the agent, and then you're not creating an extra loop for them. You also notice here Google Maps, we're not in Chicago, we're not in Baltimore. So I'll continue typing, or I can come down here and scroll, and there's the Norfolk one. And if I click on Norfolk, it now auto-populates the rest of the street address, 1420 West 41st Street, Norfolk, Virginia, USA. I can click on continue. I can select template, and I'm going to say it's a RAIN standard listing agreement. And if you're in Williamsburg, you've got some different templates down here for the Williamsburg ones. And if you're in North Carolina, yours will be totally different because they're just associated for North Carolina. So no concern here. Obviously, I'm in Virginia, so we're just kind of following through. But if you're in North Carolina, you're just going to click on the templates that are for the MLSs that you're working out of in North Carolina. All right, RAIN standard listing agreement. Continue. If you wanted to upload a photo, you certainly can. It's the only place you can put a picture. I don't ever do it other than as a demo on occasion for corporate. All right, we're creating the loop. And here we have 1420 West 41st Street, and I want to view that loop. And here I have 1420 West 41st Street, Norfolk, Virginia. I never typed any of that there. Listing for sale, loop status. I'll always want to make sure I change this to active listing so other agents can find it. And I'm going to come in here. Whoops, click on this. And I'm going to come down here to the, well, I'll just do it at the beginning. I'm going to put in here 10, 12, 23 class. That way that differentiates from any other test I've created with this address. Click on enter, and now I've got that in there as well. All right, listing for sale. It's an active listing. I'm using the custom address because I added the 10, 12, 23. All right, in here is myself, Tim Vohar. Here's the admin for corporate. Here's the admin for the Norfolk office. If I had any escrow information, I could put that in there. Property address, I don't have to do anything because it's right here, already filled in. Nothing that I have to add, all good to go. If I knew the parcel ID and I wanted to put it in there, great. You can come here to supervising broker. And if you're me, you can scroll down to me, find me. If you're anybody else, you just grab your broker. And these are getting cleaned up, so don't worry about that. We'll just have one for Tanya and one for Julie, one for Karen. So those will get adjusted as well. So just pick one and we'll just have one for each broker. All right, financials, if you have it, you can put it in there. Disbursement sheet information, contract dates, offer dates, referral, listing information. So I'll go in here, add the listing expiration. I'll just put it for the end of the month. We'll just do today's date. And there we go, original price. We'll sell that for $1 million. And actually, that's not the right field for that. Right here. Boom. If there's mortgage balance, homeowners association, I can put anything else that I needed to put in there. Not that it's all gonna autofill into anything, but you can use that storing there. All right, MLS number, legal description. You can put all the different information that you have. Year built, anything of that magnitude, put it in there. I'll put in the bedrooms just so you can see how it autofills. Square footage, 1800, and click on save. All right, my save has been successful. And I'm going to come here back to the loop. Now I am ready with all my details that I put in to go ahead and work on my documents. Now, first thing before I go on is I want to point out over here where it says optional. This is going to change come January, and there will be required next to certain forms. All right, so this will be required. SAER will be required. So you will need to have these documents filled out and signed before you are able to submit for review. So coming in January, be prepared for a slight change, and you will have some required documents that you have to submit for the documents to be reviewed. All right, so just pointing that out, that this is going to change. This is not something new for the former Rosenwobble. This is something definitely new for the former Berkshire Hathaway Town Realty folks. All right. Now I want to get these documents auto-filled. I'm going to check the little box here. I'm going to click on open. And here I have my auto-fill. And since I'm selling, I'll click over here. I'm going to click on add person. And let's see, I think I have Giraffe in here. There's Giraffe. And there's Giraffe. And I'm not going to add Giraffe to my team because Giraffe is my seller. If Giraffe lived at a different address, because this was a rental property, I could put that information in there. If not, good to go. So I got Giraffe, got Tim Vohar. And if you needed to type them in, you could just type in their full name and their email address. But because I had them, it auto-filled quickly for me. I click add person. Now you can see right here, sellers Giraffe and listing agent 1. That would be me. I'm going to choose that. And here's the address information. Now I'm going to go here just so I don't confuse the system. And we'll just make Regina the supervising broker for this one. I could put any other information I might have. If this had a referral, I could put in 30%. There's my expiration. There's my original price. Put in any other information I need. Click on autofill. And boom, up pops my forms. And it's got in here all of the fields that I have as yellow. And I did mess it up putting myself in there twice. This did not auto populate as me because I put me in as the broker and then I took me out. So that's why this is here. That's not that should not be an issue for you guys. It's just because I'm working 2 coins on the system here. All right, here it goes. It's got the relocation 30%. I can put that in there, the town relocation, town referral, whatever it might be. All right. If I'm getting a post sign requested, yes. Yes. No. No. Yes. And no. Subdivision. I have no idea. No riders, order home warranty, yes. Now with this from a home warranty perspective, because now we have auto listings. So if you're getting a home warranty and you choose yes, you're getting First American 210 choice. You need to make sure you put that in there and you need to get that ordered for your client because they do have that listing protection. You should have handouts, pamphlets, flyers, materials for all of these in your office. So First American, 210, and Choice should all be in your office now. All right,
Hey,
your
Tim.
listing form. Yes.
Karen has her hand up.
Okay, Karen, go ahead.
So just to follow up on this from your remarks during our sales meeting yesterday, if we fill in this section called post signs, does that then somebody will take from there and will order the post sign for us and it'll have whatever it is we need, including a brochure box?
It will not have a brochure box unless you have your own brochure boxes. If you want a brochure box, you'll have to make sure you have a brochure box available.
Okay, so if I've got a brand new listing and I fill this in and I check yes for brochure box, then they'll put up the right kind of post sign that I can put my brochure box on?
That's correct. Or you can
Okay.
bring a brochure box and they'll come pick it up and put it on there. There will be an extra charge for that.
Okay, and so once that's in there, then the admins will take care of making sure that that gets forwarded to the post box
correct.
people, the post sign. Okay,
That's
and then
correct.
does the same thing, but the home warranty, I'm clicking yes and selecting the home warranty company, but I need to initiate with the home warranty representative.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be the representative. It can just be the 800 or 888 number or the email or the fax that's on the pamphlets.
Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. All right. Scrolling on down to the standard listing agreement, it auto fills. If you have to fill in, this one didn't have the legal address, but you can see it's got everything else. It also has GE set up for Giraffe to sign. And let's say that Giraffe was the purchaser of the property. I'm sorry, the owner of the property, but the property is owned by, oops. Giraffes Are the Best LLC. I don't even know how to spell that right. Okay, no problem. This stays here as GE, and it's now ready for them to sign as Giraffe E as opposed to Giraffes Are the Best LLC. All right, then if you're going to fill in, you got to fill in all your documents. I'm just going to scroll through that.
Tim,
Yes.
you have another question?
Okay. Faith, go ahead.
I'm sorry, real quick, because I'm
Nope,
brand
you're good.
spanking new.
Sure.
The home warranties,
Yep.
I haven't had any listings or anything yet. Do you just give them the flyers for all the home warranty options and let them pick which one they want?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And as I get down here to this one, you'll see the Berkshire Hathaway Home Services RW Town Realty is all set up for Norfolk. I got Giraffe sign here. I've got my information all loaded. I've got Regina's information as my managing broker. I don't have the firm reign ID in there because that's her, not me, which is fine. That just is the wonkiness of that. We've got Giraffes Are the Best. I didn't type this here. It did it all by itself when I changed it up in the previous document. So if you got some kind of entity, some kind of business, put it in as the person who's going to sign, and then you can go ahead into the documents and just change it and just open them all and change it once and you're good to go. All right, down to the documents, you can sign, and then you can see anything in yellow has been auto filled by the system when I did the auto fill. Pretty much now just data entry. At this point, you'll see all the initials are there, and I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to click on back. I'm not going to save and share because I don't want to share all the documents. So I'm going to save my changes. Maybe.
And Tim, while you're waiting for that to load, do you fill out all of these listing docs before you go in for your first listing appointment? To the best of your ability, you fill in whatever you can?
It depends on if you're doing a one-step or a two-step. If you're doing a one-step and you're intending to get signatures, yeah, I'd have it all preloaded. If you're doing a two-step, you might not do it because you might go on it and say, I don't like this house. I don't want to take it as a listing, so you didn't waste any time loading the paperwork up.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, so that all went to you know where in the handbasket because something happened with the system. So all my time, nothing got saved. So I'm gonna click on autofill. I got Giraffe E. I got all my address. All this stuff is here already. I'm gonna click autofill. Everything's back. And this time I'm gonna click on save. For whatever reason, it didn't save. There we go. Now we're all saved. Now when I go back. So that's just an example right there, y'all, of a great reason to use the view details page before you do anything. If you fill out this information, once it's in here, it's locked in here. Once you hit that save button, so it will save time, frustration, aggravation. If the power goes out, you get a lag and something won't save. So I strongly encourage you to use the view details to load as much data as you possibly can. All right, now these forms, let me just click on this one so you can see it's been filled out again. Boom, filled out. I didn't type it or anything, just clicked on that autofill. Now they say not submitted. Now I want to come up here and I want to click on submit for review. And I don't know what this form is. This is the listing documents, submit for review. Put a little checkbox there. It's going to a listing. And if you want to put a little note, you can do that. I'm going to click on submit. And here we go, new listing for input. And this has all been submitted. Staff will go through and do what staff needs to do. And then for those home warranties, there's all those home warranties in that home warranty folder right there. So if you need them, boom, they're right there. All right, now I've got all my documents in there. That's all done. Actually, I didn't share them to the client, so let's go through that again. I skipped that process. So I'm going to not send that checklist, but I do need to send the SLA. I need to send the SAER. I need that input, the summary, the DPOR, the AQs, the CDIF. Let's just say this one wasn't lead-based paint. Take that off. Come over here, archive that. Professional disclosure for sellers, affiliated business arrangement. Copy the tax record if I'm putting it in there. And I'm not using the 3 column, so I'll kill that one and archive it. I'm using the 1 column or vice versa, whichever way you're doing it. Archive that. And now I want to share these. And I'm going to send those to Giraffe. There's 26 fields, and Giraffe can sign those fields. Put a little message. I want to send it as a PDF as well. Click on that. Click on share. Done. And now you'll see over here, waiting on others. And if I hover over this little person, you can say it's shared with Giraffe and the admins. And this one right here is just shared with the admins. So there's always going to be 2, 1 being you, 2 being the admins. And then if you go to 3, once you share it or submit it, you're good to go. Let me scroll down. See here, I haven't done anything with these and the admins already have access to them, right? So you don't have to ever share with the staff. You only submit for review because staff, as you can see, already has access and I didn't do anything with this. All right. Questions? Questions? Karen, go ahead.
My question relates to when I have a loop on a purchase agreement.
Okay.
And I've got a task list that automatically populates at the bottom of my loop. And I'm looking for a shortcut to assign all of those tasks to me.
There's no shortcut to assign those. If it's an office one, the only thing you can do is if you're creating a task list for yourself, that you can come in here. So this is Tim's task list, listing task list. I can come over here and assign them to myself. Oops. Click on the little drop down. I can assign them to myself. And then that way, when they come in, they're already assigned to me. So if it's your task list, you can assign those to yourself.
So you're saying, go ahead and create my task list and assign everything in it to me so that anytime I've got a purchase agreement, I just populate my task list and it already has everything populated? Or if I've already populated in one list, it automatically populates it to me and every time I pull up a list?
So if I come in here, I'm going to do this. Let's walk through this purchase task list. Let me put in agent purchase task list, so I remember what I'm doing. All right, agent purchase task list, right? Oops. All right, agent purchase task list. What's the task you're talking about, Karen?
Ask for referrals.
So this is my templates right here, templates, and my tasks. So this is not inside of a loop. This is once I create this, anything that I put over here will repeat when I put it into a loop. So ask for referrals. I'm going to come here. I'm going to assign it to Tim Vohar. And then I'm going to put that. Is that something you're going to do that day that you get you're going to create the loop tomorrow, this week, next week, after another task? So let's say I'm going to ask them tomorrow for a referral. And that's tomorrow meaning the day after I've created this loop. What else do you add for a task?
Send client copies of buyer broker agreements.
Okay, so as soon as you send it to them for signing, they have copies. Just so we're clear. So you don't have to send them anything. They already have it. If you're sending, now if you want to say send clients PDF paperwork, then yes, that would be a task you're going to do. Does that make sense? Because as soon as you
Right.
hit that share button, they're going to get it.
So in other words, I can just borrow from the agent buyer contract to close task list. I can recreate that for myself, assign everything to me so that whenever I pull it up, that list is already assigned to me.
Sure, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hey, Tim, it's Gay Deal.
Hey, Gay.
I had and thanks for this. It's a great session. I had a question about the LLC. So is there a way when you're setting this up, because the seller name is the LLC, but you're signing it just with the seller?
Mhm.
So do you have to set that up a certain way? So the
Yes.
signature is not the same? How do you do that?
Yeah, so if you're doing it from a standpoint of, so this case, Giraffe, right? Let me go
Yes,
back
but
here.
you had the seller and you added the name later and put that LLC name in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Is you're wanting the sign as like managing partner or something like that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's
All right.
how it
So,
has to be signed.
yep. So
But
I'm
you
gonna
had
put
him
in,
sign Giraffe.
yeah, I'm gonna put in here Tim Vohar, managing member, right? So this is how it needs to appear as a signature for the LLC, correct? Is that what we're
Yes.
that's the question? Okay. So if I put this in here originally, starting with this, and I change this to, actually, that's not going to work. Hold on. I'm going to open all these documents. I'm going to do autofill. And I've got in here Giraffe. So I got Giraffe assigned as the seller. I'm going to autofill Giraffe. Then I'm going to come in here and say, and I'll just stick with the Giraffe. Giraffe managing member.
Managing partner. I guess.
Managing partner.
Whatever. Yes.
Sure. Oops. I'll learn to type one day. Or not. Okay. So now see. I may have boggled it up because I did it after the fact.
Right.
Yeah, it's the best thing to do. Let's do it this way.
Because I had a problem with Dotloop trying to change something after the fact, and it just wouldn't take it unless I went to the
Yeah.
help people.
Yeah, so the best thing to do when you're setting up for a business, an entity or something like that
Mm-hmm.
is to come in here when you set up the loop. Because when you start manipulating a lot of different things with email addresses, it'll get wonky on you.
It
So
does. Yeah.
yeah,
We
so
had
it's
to do
best
it.
to
yeah.
yeah, start it off this way. I'm gonna do, let's see, seller, add person. So when I set it up, I'm setting it up as Giraffe E, the managing partner, as the seller. So I'm getting this all set up here. So this is how I want the signature to appear. So this is the signature. That's the first thing you want to do when you set it up, is create it in that way of how you want the signature to appear. So when you add the person, it's got their signature. I'm going to click autofill.
And then we also get into initials.
Correct. So now you see Giraffe E, managing partner is
Mhm.
set up there.
Yes.
Now and then when I come down to
See,
GE,
but his
Giraffe
initials
managing
not-
partner.
Yeah, but those aren't really okay.
Yeah, that's the initials, right? So now what I do is I can come up here and I can change this to giraffes are the best LLC. And that leaves my GE managing partner the same. So then I have changed who the owner is, but Giraffe is signing there, but the owner is changed to the LLC. So when you're setting up the loop, you want to set it up as the signature and then go in and change the seller for the top of the document to what that LLC or the estate or whatever it might be is. Follow along, okay?
Oh, I'm following along with it.
Okay, great. Any other questions?
Do you need to follow up with an addendum for the title company explaining that that is the person who's signing?
No, they'll need paperwork to go with it. They'll need the LLC paperwork that gives them the authority to sign for them.
They get copies of all LLC information.
Correct. Any other questions? All right. Hopefully this has been helpful to you. Thank you for being here. If you're here for Dotloop, if you're coming back, I'll see you at 11 o'clock for business planning, 12 o'clock for 1031 exchanges, or tomorrow for marketing, going over some of the new tools. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you at 11, or have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
You're welcome.